Hill is.
Capitol Hill is. Capitol Hill is. Capitol Hill is.
Capitol Hill is.
Capitol Hill is.
Capitol Hill is
a neighborhood that is rich in not only history but culture, becoming an artistic and locally driven community within the heart of DC. We want to discover the echoes this neighborhood leaves behind. So, what exactly is Capitol Hill?
Historic. I think there's no way that we can avoid the fact that this is a neighborhood that is deeply historic, from the homes that you see to the proximity to the Capitol to the stories of our country that are all right here. There's a lot to celebrate in the history here.
This place right here, Santa Claus Tavern, this is one of my favorite spots. Great place to hang out, and a lot of history this place, by the way.
What history do you mean?
So, it's actually been located in a couple of different places over its years in existence. But at one point, President John Adams lived in this pub.
I think a lot of local businesses actually are kind of like the heartbeat of a neighborhood. They're the places where we kind of gather. They're the places where they know you by name when you walk in the door. They know what your favorite food is, or maybe your favorite book, depending upon what type of store you're going to.
We always say Capitol Hill is the best little village in Washington, D.C. It already, since forever, Capitol Hill has always been a tightly knit community. It looks like one. It looks like it's on a Christmas card, right? But as Zuri said when I came in, everybody already knows each other. Everybody has a connection. Everybody's working to tie onto this community. The stories are already here to build. The history is already here to tell about.
So our shop was started October 1st, 1964. I was born November 1963. My grandfather owned the shop. So I started working here at a very young age, where my father would bring me down, handing out samples to customers and meeting people. So I'd say I was probably about 6 years old when I started. But it wasn't all that hard work. It was just really more like promotional, helping people, that type of thing. So I'd say that was about the beginning. That was around 1969. And then I kind of worked my way through college, which I graduated in 1982. So summer jobs and working here on the Hill, meeting people was always a great part of my life. Then I did about 30 years of corporate work, and then when my father passed away in 2012, that's when I took on the shop full time.
Oh yeah, have you ever heard the story of Eastern Market's flea market? There's this guy, John Herod, just a crazy guy, not an artist. He was working in youth. He was working in after-school youth programs, and he got a theater group together. And at the time, the North Hall was just a hollow shell of what it was. It used to be a garage for the streetcars, so he took it over for his program. And then he started bringing artists and performers, and then artisans were like, "Can I sell there?" And so he started bringing in artists, and then he would decorate the North Hall, and he would have dance nights and parties that I think sometimes got a little out of hand. And at the time, there was no electricity, there was no air conditioning, there was no plumbing. He had to put porta potties outside, and that brick plaza was just gravel. But from that basis, this guy built what is now the flea market, Eastern Market. We call it the cornerstone of our community, but it was just this guy wondering, starting with the youth, what this would look like as a good time.
Community is so important. We see community in our day-to-day lives in school, after school, and throughout the Capitol Hill community, as a neighborhood built on creative and local support. Capitol Hill is always coming together to advocate for each other.
Capitol Hill is a unique community, maybe because we're separated from the rest of Washington by the Capitol. We're our own little neighborhood. We can walk to things, and there are a lot of different kinds of housing and stores and people, and it's a very neighborly community. People look out for one another. Our money, for example, we raise from the community. People in the neighborhood give the money that enables us to make the grants. It's a very neighborly community.
Capitol Hill is a family, and so that could be both more and more families want to call it home and live here and grow up here. Community comes together as family. When something bad happens, people look after each other like a family does, and so it's a very tight-knit community. So I think kind of family would be maybe my third word.
Our community is passionate about student engagement. I think anytime we have an event where students are showcasing what they've learned or what they've learned how to do, community members, meaning like families, teachers, they're always in awe about how incredible the young people in the school are. You all are incredible athletes, you're incredible artists, and you're incredibly smart as well. And I think what people really like about that is we don't always come in excellent at those things, but by the time it's time to perform, we demonstrate excellence across everything that we do.
Well, I have lots of stories, but the main thing about Eastern Market is the people. Not the merchants that work here, but also the customers. And if you could think of social media back in the 1870s, it didn't exist, right? But this was like the initial social media place. This is where people would meet and come on Saturdays to talk to each other. Probably not a lot of iPhones back then. Wasn't a lot of iPhones when I was a kid. But nonetheless, this is where you have face-to-face interactions. And that's such an important part of our being a human. I mean, being able to talk and relate to people.
I've seen us come together, for example, when Eastern Market caught fire and almost burned down. This is about a few years ago. It's about 15 years ago. So when that took place, the community came together to help support all the local businesses and help support them. And so it was about 20 years ago, but everybody came together and helped make sure that we protected this space that's really important to us, Eastern Market. So through fires, through crises, I've seen our community come together, get each other's back, kind of be the family that Capitol Hill is, and help support each other.
A couple of years ago, they had a hard time. There were some issues with the structure, with the building structure, that were going to cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars to repair. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. It meant that they would probably go out of business. But both the Capitol Hill community and the LGBTQ community got together and raised the money so that they could pay for those repairs, so that As You Are Bar would still stay open and thrive on Barracks Road. You know that.
Our families are incredible. They support in every possible way, from like very small ways to very big ways. Like a small way that families here support us and support you all as students, I think. All of your families I know, if I called them on the phone right now, they would pick up. So I don't have to call anybody twice. They work with us in partnership to make sure that you are getting what you want. So they will tell us when we are screwing up, and they will thank us and publicize when we are doing right. So that's something that's super important for us as a school to be great. The other thing is they organize a lot of activities to raise funds for you all, to make sure that there are field trips and weekend and evening events that happen for you. They make sure that there are people here when you perform in shows, that people go to the events that the band puts on. So I think they are just, that comes back to that engagement. Like our families in the neighborhood are very engaged and they care a lot about what you all do in school, and they have high expectations for this to be a high quality school.
Change is inevitable in a neighborhood like Capitol Hill. Shops, restaurants, and events are always popping up. In a neighborhood built on community involvement, the most important people to include are people like us. Kids always looking to help out, so that Capitol Hill can keep being what we know and love, always growing.
Well, I think that young people are the future of the Capitol Hill community, and I think that the more that young people know about the history of their community and the more they can explore professional development and volunteering at community organizations, I think that it's a win-win situation, and the kids give back as much as they
Well, I think young people help define what that culture looks like to start with. So I think in the same way I talked about Capitol Hill is constantly evolving. Even though it's very historic, it still is constantly evolving. And I think young people help shape what that evolution looks like. I think that as you look at and learn the history, because I also said Capitol Hill is very historic. So if you look at the history of what Capitol Hill was, what it has been, the different roles that it's played, I think that young people learning about that history can help protect and continue that culture and move it forward. So those are two things that come to mind. But what's most important about Capitol Hill? It's the third thing I said, family. And so the sense of a community that I think Capitol Hill exudes. I think Capitol Hill, again, just feels like a family to one another. you take that culture and you pay that forward wherever you are, I think that is a great way to kind of honor the culture of what Capitol Hill is.